My sister pointed a cake knife at my pregnant belly and screamed, "This is my day." The entire room went silent. I remember staring at that blade less than a foot from my stomach while my unborn baby kicked beneath my dress. Then my sister smiled. And 9 months later, she was the one standing outside my hospital room, begging me to let her in. My name is Hannah Miller. I was 31, 7 months pregnant, and I had spent most of my life learning how to stay calm around my older sister, Vanessa. Vanessa was 34. She was beautiful, confident, loud, and used to getting exactly what she wanted. If we went shopping, she chose the store. If we went to dinner, she picked the restaurant. If our parents planned a family vacation, Vanessa decided where we stayed. My mother, Diane, always called it strong personality. I called it exhausting. Still, I loved her. Or at least, I thought I did. That afternoon was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my pregnancy. Vanessa was celebrating her engagement to Daniel. Daniel was 36, quiet, polite, and surprisingly patient. He had always treated me kindly. When he found out I was pregnant, he had even sent me a little gift. A tiny wooden sign that said, "Baby Miller." I kept it beside my crib. At the engagement party, our parents had rented a beautiful hall. There were flowers everywhere. White balloons floated above the tables. A giant 3-layer cake stood in the center of the room. Everyone was smiling. Everyone except Vanessa. I noticed her watching me several times. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Then she walked over. "You're getting a lot of attention today." I looked at her. "What do you mean?" She smiled. "You know exactly what I mean." I rubbed my stomach. "I didn't ask anyone to make today about me." "You didn't have to." Before I could respond, our mother called everyone together for photographs. I stood beside Vanessa. She leaned close and whispered, "Don't ruin my engagement." I pulled back. "What?" But she was already smiling for the camera. I told myself she was nervous. I told myself she was stressed. I told myself there had to be a reason for her behavior. I was wrong. After dinner, the cake was brought out. Everyone gathered around. Daniel stood beside Vanessa. Their friends cheered. My father lifted his glass. To Vanessa and Daniel. Everyone applauded. Then Vanessa suddenly grabbed the cake knife. She turned toward me. At first, I thought she was joking. Then she stepped closer. The smile disappeared from her face. "You've taken enough attention today." I froze. "Vanessa." She raised the knife. "This is my day." Her voice echoed across the room. The blade pointed directly at my pregnant belly. Someone screamed. Daniel grabbed her wrist. "Vanessa. Put it down." She jerked away. I didn't mean it. But she had. I could see it in her eyes. I backed away, holding my stomach. My mother rushed toward Vanessa. "Not me." "Vanessa, what were you thinking?" Vanessa started crying. "She keeps making everything about herself." I stared at my mother. I almost got stabbed. Mom looked at me. "I know." But her voice was strangely quiet. Then Dad said the words that hurt almost as much as the threat. "Hannah, maybe you should go home." I couldn't believe it. I looked around the room. Nobody knew what to say. Daniel looked horrified. He came toward me. "Hannah, I'm so sorry." I shook my head. "It's not your fault." I left. That night, I sat on my bed with both hands over my stomach. My baby kicked. I whispered, "I'm sorry." I wasn't sure what I was apologizing for. Maybe for bringing her into a family where people confused cruelty with jealousy. The next morning, Vanessa called. I almost didn't answer. When I did, she said. I was emotional. "You pointed a knife at me." I wasn't going to hurt you. You don't know that. She started crying. You're my sister. I closed my eyes. And I'm your sister. That's why I'm still trying to understand why you did it. She didn't answer. Then she said, you always get everything. I felt something inside me go cold. What? Mom loves you more. I laughed bitterly. You almost hurt me because you think Mom loves me more? See? You're doing it again. Doing what? Acting like you're better than me. I hung up. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. 2 weeks later, Daniel came to my house. He looked exhausted. Hannah, I need to tell you something. I invited him inside. He sat down. I'm postponing the wedding. I stared at him. Because of Vanessa? He nodded. What happened? He looked uncomfortable. She told me you attacked her. My jaw dropped. What? She said you pushed her first. I stood up. She pointed a knife at me. I know. How? Daniel looked at me. There were cameras in the hall. My heart stopped. He had footage. And suddenly, I understood why Vanessa had been so confident. She had been lying because she thought nobody could prove it. Daniel handed me a copy. I watched the video. There I was, standing near the cake. Vanessa approached me. She raised the knife. I backed away. Every word was recorded. There was no question about what happened. Then Daniel paused the video. There's something else. He played another clip. It was from earlier that afternoon. Vanessa was talking to our mother. I heard my mother say, she won't do anything. She's too forgiving. Vanessa replied, good. I stared at the screen. My mother knew. She knew Vanessa was angry. She knew Vanessa planned to confront me. And she had done nothing. But that wasn't the worst part. Daniel told me he had discovered something else. Vanessa had been telling people I was intentionally using my pregnancy to steal attention from her engagement. She had even created a private group chat with several relatives. In it, she had called me selfish, manipulative, and jealous. I felt humiliated. I wanted to disappear. Instead, I did something I had never done before. I stopped defending myself. I stopped explaining. I stopped begging my family to understand. I blocked Vanessa. Then I blocked my mother. I told my father, if you want a relationship with me, you need to stop making excuses for her. He didn't answer. 3 months passed. My pregnancy became harder. I focused on my health. My husband, Michael, was 33 and had been working long hours to support us. He never told me what to feel. He simply stayed. He came to appointments. He cooked. He held my hand. And slowly, the pain became smaller. Then something unexpected happened. Daniel called me. I ended the engagement. I sat quietly. Are you okay? No, he said. But I know I made the right decision. I didn't ask for details. I didn't need them. For once, Vanessa's choices were no longer my responsibility. Then came the second twist. A week before my due date, my father showed up at my house. He looked older. Tired. He held an envelope. I need to apologize. I let him inside. He handed me the envelope. Inside was a letter. It was from my mother. She admitted she had known Vanessa was struggling with severe jealousy. She had been covering for her for years. Not because she hated me. Because she was afraid Vanessa would fall apart. My father had gone along with it. They had spent years protecting the daughter who screamed the loudest. And in doing so, they had taught her that there were no consequences. My father looked at me. We failed you. I wanted to scream. Instead, I cried. I needed you that night. I know. No. You don't. He lowered his head. I should have come after you. I nodded. You should have. Then I told him something I had never said before. I forgive you for being scared. But I won't forgive you by pretending it didn't happen. He understood. And for the first time, he didn't argue. 9 months after the engagement party, I went into labor. My daughter was born just before sunrise. I held her against my chest and cried. She had 10 tiny fingers. A little button nose. And the strongest cry I had ever heard. Michael kissed my forehead. You did it. I smiled through my tears. We did. That afternoon, there was a knock at my hospital door. I looked up. Vanessa stood there. She looked completely different. No makeup. No anger. Just tears. I won't stay if you don't want me here, she whispered. I stared at her. For months, I had imagined this moment. I thought I would feel satisfaction. Anger. Maybe even revenge. But I mostly felt tired. She looked at my daughter. She's beautiful. I didn't respond. Vanessa swallowed. I've been going to therapy. I looked at her. I needed help. I didn't know how much. That was the first honest thing she'd said to me in a long time. She stepped closer. I was jealous of you. I nodded. I know. I thought everyone loved you more. I looked down at my daughter. Maybe they did things that made you feel that way. She started crying. But I made my own choices. Yes. I can't take back what I did. No. She wiped her face. Can I try to make it right? I looked at my daughter again. Then I looked at my sister. You can try. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. It was a door left unlocked. And sometimes that's all a person can offer. Months later, I returned to the same hall where Vanessa had once pointed a knife at my stomach. Not for her. For my daughter's first birthday. I almost didn't want to go. But I did. I stood in the same room with my family. The same walls. The same tables. The same memories. Only this time, I wasn't afraid. My daughter was laughing in my arms. My father approached me. You look happy. I smiled. I am. He looked at my daughter. She changed everything. I shook my head. No. I kissed her forehead. I changed everything. Because that was the truth. My sister's cruelty didn't destroy me. My family's silence didn't destroy me. What they did taught me something I should have learned much earlier. Love doesn't mean accepting everything someone does to you. Forgiveness doesn't mean giving someone unlimited access to hurt you again. And family isn't an excuse for bad behavior. That night, Vanessa pointed a cake knife at my pregnant belly and screamed, "This is my day." 9 months later, I held my daughter in my arms and realized something. It had never been her day. It had never been my mother's day. It had never been my father's day. It was my life. And from that moment on, I decided I was going to live it without shrinking myself just to make other people comfortable.